Hey, good morning, everybody. This is John Phillips Plumbing Service. It's Monday morning, May 16th. And as part of my ongoing series, Getting Old Ain't for Sissies, I'd like to share with you, the old saying is the eyes are the first thing to go. And yeah, I agree. This morning I caught it just in time, but I was ready to brush my teeth with fucking razor blade and preparation H. So my suggestion is maybe have a cup of coffee, you know, whatever, before you brush your teeth. Try to wake up, clear the fucking cobwebs out of your eyeballs. Yeah. Anyways, that was a joke. I'm just kidding. I am a struggling comedian on top of being a struggling plumber. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Start the day off, start the week off right, with a little humor. Anyways, we're off. I gotta go help this guy out, finish up. He bought a house and did everything over, all new tile and shit. I gotta go set a toilet, set a lavatory, trim out the shower. I think he's got a kitchen sink to put in, all kinds of shit. I'll probably spend 4 or 5 hours there. But we'll see if I can't get some footage of some follies that I encounter. Anyways, we'll see you when I get there. Alright guys, so I've arrived at this house. Kid's done a very nice job remodeling. Beautiful floor. It's coming along. It's definitely a Florida house, my friends. Big too, man. 3-4 bedroom. Very nice. Yeah, so this bathroom's already done. Did a very nice job. Beautiful. I'm gonna caulk around these fixtures for them. Caulk the toilet in. That right there is a disaster waiting to happen. Caulking is a necessity with plumbing. Some guys don't carry caulk, I guess, but I need to set this toilet. I need to trim out this shower. I need to set this lav. Need to hook the ice maker up to this refrigerator. Need to hook up this kitchen sink. Install the faucet. It's just kind of hanging in there. Single bowl, easily hooked up. I've got a hose bib to change out in the back. And I redid this the last time I was here. I just need to hook this ice maker line up to this valve. So anyways, that's the plan, man. I'm gonna start in the shower in that bathroom and work my way right through the house and get out of here. Alright guys, so I'm in here. I'm going to start by trimming out this shower. You can see I've got a test nipple in this drop air now. Take that out. What I typically do is I put the escutcheon on first before I pipe dope. Put some dope on this. I usually use Teflon, but I don't have it with me. So the easiest way to put a shower arm on without damaging it is use your channel locks, the end of it. And you don't have to go crazy with this because it's not going to be under pressure all the time. And so that's it. Now what I do is I wait to put the shower head on after I test out. I'll test everything, get water running through this, make sure the handle's installed properly, and then I'll put the shower head on because you don't want to right off the bat clog this guy up. So sometimes I have to take the flow restrictor out of these heads, but they've really made good progress, and you get a nice spray pattern and good pressure coming out of this nice Moen shower head. So that's that. Next thing is going to be the trim. And unfortunately, the sleeve is not here. That's supposed to be on this wall, so we gotta go get one. Alright, so there's a little notch on the bottom of this stem on a posi-temp valve that needs to be down. I believe. Sometimes I put them together and I forget that. And of course this idiot built the wall up so much that the faceplate probably won't fit, but even though I fucking told him. Goddamn tile, guys. Fuck. I held that valve out as far as I could, and he still fucked it up. Now, it is what it is. See that? It may not go. Looks like it's gonna work. I just took a shower. Just barely on there. Nope. Fucking tile guys, man. Alright, so the water's on in this place. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fucking fire it up. Yeah! And then put the shower head on. Yeah, it's working. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put the shower head on. This one's got a nice gasket in it, so I'm gonna give it a try without any pipe dope or anything on it. See how that works. Just hand tight usually with something like that should work. Yeah. See, that's working. There's no drips in the back. I didn't scratch anything. The shower's trimmed out. I'm going to let it run just to make sure that the hot's on the hot side. But that should be it. Next thing I'm going to do is hook up this lavatory. And what's good is he's got stops on everything. New stops. So I'm going to trim this baby out with the water on, which is nice. It's a long way for that hot water to travel. Maybe he's got it turned off, I don't know. Yeah, it's getting hot, so the valve's in, it's all set. The tile guy almost fucked me. Oops, excuse me. Alright, so a couple things about this faucet. It's a Moen. Very, very heavy, good, solid faucet. Comes with the hoses attached. The hot is usually marked. This will be the hot side. Yeah. See, it says hot side. Make sure you get it on the left. Unfortunately, they bought a countertop with 3 holes. If they would have bought one with just 1 hole, I could put this on. It'd be a much cleaner installation. You wouldn't have this big plate. The thing is with these cultured marble tops, if you buy a single hole sink and you actually need the other 2, you can drill them easily with a hole saw. So on this particular, if it's granite, obviously that's a different story, but everybody's going to just a very sleek single hole installation, but unfortunately I have to put this plate on in here. And Moen, these plastic wastes, this is actually a push button, which I really like. I think that the pop-up, with the lift rod, I think that that's going to be obsolete here in the future. This is a much easier system to put in, problem-free. And if you want to clean it, you just pull the whole thing out. That's it. Pretty simple. So anyways, let me get to installing this guy. So this comes with a nice little gasket. It's pretty simple installation. Just want to make sure it's straight. Moen, on that little bracket that holds it up, they put rubber on the back of it, which really helps it grip the countertop, but it also holds it in place when you slide it up. So it makes installation really, really easy. They give you a wrench for tightening this nut down, which I'll show you. Yeah, this is their tool. I'm going to use this side on this particular faucet. You just want to make sure it's centered over. That's it. These really have a nice finish, man. And they're cheap, man. You know, I mean, you can buy them relatively inexpensive at Home Depot or Lowe's. You just want to make sure that that's not moving. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hook up these supplies. Okay, so like I said, this is very easy because the stops are all on and the pressure's on to the house. I may even be able to use this trap just the way it is, but I want to show you something about how you're supposed to install these. One thing you want to do is always, on something like this, you definitely want to take the aerator out before you open the valve. So you don't, this thing doesn't start its life off clogged full of construction debris and shit. They are a pain in the ass to get out. You have to use this goofy fucking, this goofy wrench and take them out. And as time goes on, it gets harder and harder to get these guys out, but God forbid you have to look at an aerator, you know what I'm saying? So next I'm gonna put this pop-up in, and they come with this little gasket. And that's not going to do anything for you. You need to throw that out and put putty up around under that flange. Yeah, you need to putty this. If you look at the weld on this sink, see how it's recessed? That gasket, this gasket's not going to do anything on this. So it needs to be puttied, and just hand tighten it. And hopefully it doesn't leak. If it leaks, then you got to go to plan B. But Moen has done a very good job of making these so they don't leak. This is a good gasket, and it seals pretty good. I do notice that this is designed for a sink with an overflow. That's what these holes are. But this particular sink does not have an overflow, so it's not a big deal. But it could have been if this was very, very thin. I can see that it's thick enough that it's going to accept this waste, I hope. Alright, so you can see I've got putty on this. And what I need to do is just push it down into the drain. see it's squeezing out. The main thing is that when you're pushing the gasket and nut up on the bottom, that you're not wiggling this. And you can see how the putty is squeezed out. I need to cut that out of there. It's squeezed into the overflow. So I need to get that out of there. But yeah, let me get this hooked up underneath. I'll show you. See, this is a problem, I think. No, should be okay. I was looking at this. This is where the gasket seals. It's smooth, which is great. They used to have threads, and I think that's where all the problems came in. So I'm gonna put some, actually I'm not gonna do anything with this. I'm gonna give it a try without, this is different than it used to be, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Just raw. And I like this. See this? It's got this little lip on the mowing. Keeps that gasket and actually forces it in instead of. So I think this is gonna work out great. And on these, you can just hold it on the bottom as you tighten it down. Yeah. Yeah. You don't need to go crazy. So you can do it hand tight as long as you're kind of strong, and then just a little bit more and see where that gets you. If it doesn't leak, that's great. I need to get this putty out of here up top. Alright, so you can see that this is not going to work. This trap's out too far, and the easiest thing to do, which I'll show you, wow. Okay, so this is going to be long enough, but you can see how bad that copper is there. And what they did was they actually that's rotted. That's rotted right back. You can see underneath. It's rotted right back to that escutcheon, so I'm going to have to dig that off. Alright, so I want to explain something to you. See this drain? You can see this is copper coming out of the wall. This brass is the tubular metal trap that was stuck inside the copper. That tubular metal is the same size as the plastic tubular. So ideally, you'd like to get this piece out and slide the new plastic trap in there, and then just use a Fernco to seal that joint, but you get the rigidity of it being inside the pipe. Because this is a 50-60-year-old house, and I don't know what condition that copper is in the wall, I'm leaving it well enough alone. I'm just going to put a Fernco on here, put the trap back on, and this is a done deal. I will put an escutcheon around the Fernco to finish it up, but it is what it is. But if you could, ideally you want to slide that tubular trap into that copper, and then just then you don't end up with those floppy traps, you know. So let me get that done. All right, so I've got this sink hooked up, hot and cold. The trap is hooked up, and that Fernco back there, the Fernco is actually attached to the copper coming out of the wall, not the remnants of an old tubular trap. You got to really pay attention to that. Make sure you get back to that joint where the copper ends and the tubular goes inside. Cut the tubular off and put your trap on. I've taken the aerator out of the faucet. I've got the waste in, and you just want to see all that nasty shit coming out of there. So what I do is I fill it up all the way. I'll put this aerator back in to keep the splashing down to a minimum. These things, I'm not a big fan of these. Stupid. Form taking precedence over function, basically. All right. So I'm gonna fill this up all the way and then dump it, and I should be done here. Hopefully there'll be no leaks. Next task is to put this toilet in. This is kind of a nasty one. It's got an offset cast iron flange, too deep in the floor, kind of bent and put in crooked, but I'm going to show you the best, you know, I'm going to get it done, basically. Some things, they are what they are, so I'm going to get this guy installed. The other thing is I didn't talk about was protecting a cabinet. When you're trimming out houses, this is a brand new cabinet. I do not want to be responsible for putting a big scratch in it or damaging it. So respect people's stuff. Respect their property, and put a towel in there. My guys, when they were trimming houses out, they took a piece of cardboard with them. And, all right, that's good enough. She's draining like a champ, and I don't see any water. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. They finally came up, leave it to mowing, they came up with a good plastic waste that just doesn't leak. Delta's shit is garbage. I'm a big mowing guy. Look at this, how easy this is to clean. Can't beat that, man. So this is pretty easy to clean, but if it gets stopped up and you start pouring fucking Drano down this drain, it's gonna destroy this O-ring, and then it's not gonna work right. It'll destroy this O-ring up here, or this gasket. So, you know, I like it. You always want to check, make sure hot's on the right, on the left, but on the right side, left side, because sometimes these houses are crossed. So if it was crossed, it would just be a matter of flip-flopping the hoses. So that's good. This lavatory is installed. I will put a discussion. I just saw a drip, man. So much for fucking mowing. It's dripping. Damn it. Yeah. Got a little, was a little early with my praise. Yep. So now it's channel lock time. Alright, don't really want to go. I just broke a little ear off of that nut, so it's pretty tight. So we're going to fill it up again, all the way. And then hopefully that took care of it. If not, I'm going to back this nut all the way down and put putty in there, or pipe dope, or something. Yes. I hardly ever put these in without having to take them back apart for some fucking reason, but it is what it is. The old fucking Harry homeowner shit. Alright, well, it's not leaking again. It didn't leak the first time. I'll just come back to this and make sure there's no water in the bottom of the cabinet. I'll show you a little trick. You put a brown bag or some brown cardboard. Water shows up big time on this. So if you put a piece of cardboard down here, if this thing's dripping, it's going to show up on that. It makes it easy to look at it. But anyways, I'm going to do this flange now, which is just, you know, fucking nasty. Woo! Oh yeah. Sewer bugs. Yeah, this baby's nasty, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. It's like somebody soldered another flange on top of the offset flange, or I don't know what this is, man. It's fucking nasty though, I can tell you that. These guys back in the 50s and 40s, man, I swear they were all drunk. They couldn't hit a fucking spot. They couldn't hit a toilet for the life of them. I'm gonna get attacked by bugs on this one, but I'm gonna get this prepped and I'll show you what I did. Alright, so what I'm gonna do on this, because it's really funky, I'm gonna use a gasket, a wax seal with a horn on it. And I just want to explain one thing about this. I'll show it to you. I also just went to these bolts. I use oversized wax rings, and to have a bolt in there that's floppy is a real issue for me setting toilets. So I went to these bolts. They come with an extra nut and washer, and I can tighten it down to the flange, and I leave them a little loose just in case I have to move the toilet a little bit, but it's not going to move when I try to set the toilet. So the other thing is, I want to show you this horn. See how this thing is ready to go right down into this wax? That's not going to be a good seal. So what I need to do is I'm going to take this wax, another wax, and I'm going to stick it in this pipe. So it's going to take two of them to install this toilet. But now I've got that, I can put this on here and feel confident that I'm going to have a good wax seal. So that's it. I'm going to go grab the toilet and set it. Alright, look at what was on the bottom of this other toilet. This was an issue. Big time. I'm hoping that I'm going to resolve it. They tried to use one of those extender flanges, which are a fucking joke. That shit's so dirty, there's no way you can make a good seal. So anyways, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to clean all this up, get all this DAP and caulking, because it was obviously leaking and they thought they could just caulk the problem in. Get it cleaned up and I'll show you what we got. Look at this fucking flange. I don't know how this toilet ever flushed. Fucking Rube Goldberg special, my friends. Rube Goldberg. Looked like somebody took heat to a flange with a horn on it. But man, I think a mouse would have a hard time shitting through that hole. Alright, so I've got this cleaned up and I've got this all prepped, and I'm confident that this is going to work good. Offset flanges are not ideal. I mean, it is what it is, but I think this is going to work fine. Time will tell. So so I like that. I like the way that that went down. I got a new set of caps. So my main concern with these new bolts is that they're not made out of such hard metal that they dull my mini hacksaw on the first cut, you know. So very important, I can't stress this enough, that you have to shim a toilet, man. Nothing's perfect in this world. You need to shim these fucking things, unless you want to be back in a year or two to fucking do it all over again. So I got my shims in, 4 of them. Just finger tight, man. So this is the test on these bolts. Yeah, these are, see, you stop before you go all the way through, and you don't put a scratch in the side of the toilet. Anyways, that worked out good. The bolts that you get from the Kohler toilets at Home Depot, they're made out of fucking kryptonite, and they'll kill your hacksaw. So anyways, I'm done here with this. I just gotta hook up the supply, but I wanna show you how to cut these off. I tap it in just a tad. For some reason I have a problem with this putty knife. That's it, guys. This toilet's not rocking. I only set it with my fingers. Finger tight. Now I just need to change this supply hose. I bought a new one. Supposedly bought a new one. I don't know what I did with it. Yeah, I don't know what happened to it. It's looking, oh, there it is. make sure, oh, this is a, this has got, I think, a brass, no. Alright, so that's all set. I'm going to let it fill up. Neatness counts, guys. Take pride in your shit, you know? I don't know about you, but when I get done with a job, I want it to fucking look nice, you know? Right, so that looks good. I just flushed it, went down with no problem, had a good siphon. The ball top's good, it's filling up right, filling the bowl. I'll flush it one more time. Done deal, guys. This bathroom's trimmed out. Started at about 9:15. It's 10:15. So it took me an hour to put this in. I do see a little bit of water on that cardboard, but I think that's residual. I'm gonna let it run for a little while and make sure, but I'm just gonna clean up and move to the kitchen. Alright guys, so because the water's on, I'm going to go ahead and dap this toilet in, which is going to be the finishing stroke basically on this toilet. And it's going to ensure that, you know, this guy is never an issue again. Hopefully. I mean, I've eaten those words before, but all you can do is the best you know how, and I think we're on the right path. Shit. My caulking gun shit the bed on me. Got a little hole right here around this cap, and it takes 2 seconds to just so I'm using the excess because I squirted out a little too much on that toilet. I'm putting it on the shower valve. Around the flange on the valve, you don't have to worry about the shower head. It's very high. Never going to get any water really on it, so. Toilet's the best bucket in the world. Rinse your shit out, dump it in there, and flush it. I mean, don't be flushing garbage, but so I got a nice seal around this plate. Now I'm going to finish the toilet. So this DAT in a couple of days will have more to do with this toilet not moving than those bolts have. So it's extremely important in my view to caulk the toilet. Some of you might think that's an implied criticism. It is. If you're not caulking toilets, you're not doing it right. If you're not shimming the toilet, you're not doing it right. That's all I can tell you guys. This toilet will not be a fucking issue for this homeowner. Now with all my bluster, I'll probably be back here next fucking week pulling this toilet up because it's not working right, so that's plumbing. Nice clean job. Faucet's done. Shower's trimmed out. Got a nice seal around the plate on the shower. And what that's going to do is make sure there's no damage to the tile, the backer board. He's got some new system. I don't know what the hell it's called. People talk about it all the time on this wall. He's lucky I got this damn trim on here, to be honest. Yeah, so that's all good, man. Shower's running. Shitter's shitting, I mean flushing. And the lavatory's lavatorying. Yeah, thinking that's just a residual drip. We'll see. Alright, so I've done the bathroom sink and faucet, bathroom shower trim, bathroom toilet. Next thing on the list, I'm working from the bottom up. This kitchen's not going to be fun. The dishwasher's around the corner. Always a fucking disaster to hook up, but I'll get it done. Saving that for last. Next thing is hook up the ice maker line to the refrigerator, and I'll show you. I put a 19 stop on this. I like using 19s because it gives you it gives you a bigger line. But what I use are these little adapters. It'll adapt that from 3/8 OD to 1/4 inch OD, and it comes with a little Teflon gasket in there. I don't know if you can see that. You just got to be careful with that. And then also with this poly pipe, you never want to use a brass ferrule. You want to always use, like, you can use a brass nut. Slide that on there. You want to use a plastic ferrule. And then you also want to use this brass sleeve that goes inside. And that's basically how you hook this up. Yeah, the main thing is to not over tighten this. You don't want to split that Teflon gasket. So what I do is, once I've got that tight, I go ahead and hold that. Make sure your pipe's in all the way. And just tighten up the nut on the hose. That's it, water's on. I snugged the packing nut just a tad You want to leave some for the next guy. But anyways, it's all set. Alright, so we're on to this guy. I'm going to put this faucet in first. Alright, so on the list of stuff the guy wants done here is he wants this shutoff valve replaced. And it's pretty easy. I'm just going to go ahead and throw a new one on. But a lot of times the valve body itself, these connections are all good. And you can take this bonnet nut off, this packing nut, screw the stem out with the washer, clean the inside out with a 1/2-inch cleaning brush, copper cleaning brush, and just, if it's a brass craft valve, old style, you can just screw in they're still the same. You can just screw in a new stem with the gasket and all that stuff, and it's basically a new valve without having to tear it all apart, which I think I'm going to do on this because it's just, you don't want to deal with it. I'll show you how to do that. Yeah. All right, so this is a brass craft valve, a new one. I'm just going to take this off. Whole new bonnet assembly. Yeah. See how crusty that is. The same thing. If you see this thing's missing the gasket. I'm gonna make sure it's not still in here, which it most likely is. So get that out of there. Yeah. A pick works better, but I don't have one with me, so. See the old gasket? There's probably still half of it in there. Take this guy. I don't know. I think I realized that he doesn't have he doesn't have anything for this dishwasher supply. Oh yes, he does. It's down there in the back. Okay. So I've got this new stem here, and you'll see that I'll be able to just screw this right in there. Basically a brand new valve. Definitely got to get that old gasket out of there though. Yeah, that feels good. So it's basically like rebuilding a shower valve. Okay, so that's that. I still think that other piece is in there. We'll find out. Oh no, I found it. Nice. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. This is John Phillips. It's about 12:30. I just finished up all this stuff at this house. I need to scratch this last thing off the list here. Kitchen sink faucet. Everything's done. Got a handy dandy garbage disposal in here. Dishwasher's installed. That thing's pretty quiet. Alright, let me go over here. Put a new hose bib on the outside of the house, and I got this thing hooked up. And the bathroom's done. Everything looks nice. Everything's getting so fancy, I don't even know how to turn a light on in a room anymore. You know that? Yeah, I'm gonna cork this. It's like a kitchen sink plate on a lavatory faucet. Alright, so it's a wrap here. This place is ready to move in.